Hello there. Today I'm going to take a stab at pattern number 74335 from friendshipbracelet.net. Should be a fun one, so stick around. Roll that intro. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AKAAWOL, and today we are working on pattern number 74335. It's a pretty neat little pattern, and I think it's got like an interesting, the way the diamond and stuff goes with this. I think it's a lot of fun. Let's paste it over here, rotate it 90 degrees, and enlarge it. We're going to try something a little bit different here today. We are going to start, and let's move this up a little bit more so I can see what I'm doing. We're going to start with this big diamond, and we're going to start at the top, and we're going to see how far this other piece comes in and see how we can play with that. So let's, looks like the diamond really starts with the white. Let's use a yellow instead of white, because if we want to change the colors later on, the white would be the same as the background, so that's the thing. Let me first anchor the layer, and let's get this diamond in. So the white kind of goes, I'm judging this right, goes out like this. Does that seem right? We got a gray is next. Let's see. This extra little half diamond thing on the outside always kind of messes me up. And then the red, like, yes, okay, I think this is right. I'm trying to honor the pattern by trying to keep things sort of, oh no, it's not right. In order to fit that pink in the center, this has to come out one more. So the white is out here. And then inside of that is a black. Let's use this nice dark blue for that. And inside of that is the pink. So now we've basically represented this little diamondy thing here. Now we can get into the pattern itself. So it starts out with this black coming in like this, and then it immediately goes into this cool other, whatever you call this. This color comes out like this. So I'm kind of having to take it a little slow because this is a little bit unintuitive going in this direction. So it goes 3 white in 1, 3. In 1, 3. So then this goes to here. In 1. That look right? That looks right. Okay, so then inside of that is the pink. The pink does its little diamond thing right there, then it comes out. and in, and then 3. Inside of that pink is the black one. It does this little thing like this. Wow, this is going to kind of come out right to the center line here. The next color is the red. It comes here, and then it does this little diamond thing here. Okay, so we're just past the halfway mark, but that's all right. We can shift that line a bit. Grab the move tool. Just give that a skosh down. That's right about the middle of our diamond, I think. There. Alright. So back to the paint tool. Mind you, I'm using GIMP. If you've never used it before, it's an amazing photo editing, painting, all the stuff for being artistic. So look at this. It really ends up taking us right to the halfway point. And then the pattern basically goes out the other way. So we are really following this much like the pattern was drawn out in the first place, except for we have made certain that we have it centered, which is way cool. That is black there. Okay. So what goes on inside of all this? The gray sort of comes out here. And then, so this goes, whoops, why did that get weird? The gray sort of goes this way. Comes out to in and then this red comes out to in, and then there's a little block right there. Alright, so we need to copy that on the other side. So the gray. And the red. And one black right there. So now it's a matter of making sure that we can make all the colors line up as it is here. So I'm going to start with this gray. And it's just about filling it in. Mind you, the other pattern really just worked out. I've got to give it credit. It really just works itself out. This is technically black. Goes this way. Again, I've made this so that way if you want to change up the colors, however, that'll be easy to do. At this point, I'm basically just showing you how you can fill in the strings to make sure everything works out. If you were designing this on your own and you hadn't quite worked it out, this would be the steps involved. Although I have to say, this one was pretty much laid out for me. I did not expect it to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the colors down as far as it seems logical. Like here, I'm not sure which way the yellow really goes, so we'll just kind of hold off on that for a second. The gray, where were we on that? Let's follow those down. So I've been making patterns for a really long time, and sometimes um, I think that the art of actually making a bracelet come out the way you want it is semi-lost. In this case, um, they didn't use any extra strings that were unnecessary. There are two sets of the black, but that's because they sandwiched the color further down here in between the blacks, so that totally made sense. It really will end up making that one color pop a lot more just because it's sandwiched by the darker colors. I'm not sure what colors I would do this in. Obviously, because you have kind of like the black, gray, white thing going on, and then just two other colors, I think it might be fun to try this with maybe the fluorescence. That way the two bits of color that you actually have really get highlighted really brightly. I think that might be pretty cool. Alright. Again, this is just for doing a pattern like this. You start out with what is really super obvious, and then let the other stuff fill itself in through what is left over, right? Because there is so much zigzagging going around, it's hard to necessarily keep track of what the underlying strings are. This is why I built the whole graph paper in the first place, was I wanted to do certain things in bracelet designing that I needed to know where the colors were in order to do it. I wanted to make like chain links, and I wanted to make a variety of things that were coming to my mind, and I wasn't sure what was possible until I started working out the graph paper. And mind you, it was not easy. I didn't have the computer back then. This is back in like 87, 88, and I was using a Xerox machine to print out the graph paper, and then I would color it in with color pencils. So this ability to, edit and come back and reuse the patterns and not have to go to the print shop to do it, like, yeah, this is so much easier. And of course, this graph paper is available over on my website, AKAAWOL.com. You can download the PDFs yourself, fill them in, and come up with your own designs. I definitely recommend it. I think, honestly, it is a great exercise in learning how a pattern works, how it might even give you ideas on, like, the path in which you're going to try to knot it up, because the whole segment of it, the knotting in segments, it will make so much more sense. All right. So I basically have how the colors start off together worked out. And we know that there's another black, so we can put this in here. trying to, as I go along, if I missed any, trying to fill those in. Alright. Well, we know that the pink has to go at least some of this. We know exactly where it goes. Because we've pretty much wiped out all of its other possibilities. There it is. Well, wasn't that just easy? It just connected right up without any kind of issue there. That was cool. Let's see how the red goes. Again, you can see if it's already doing the zigzag and the other colors are accounted for, then that's a thing. We know this has to be a blue coming through here. Let's go back to the red. Well, that just worked itself right out perfectly as well. Fascinating. Mind you, sometimes some of these go a direction that could have been a little bit different or whatever. But yeah, it works. If it gets all the pieces where they need to be, that's a win. Alright, what do we got left? We connected the pink. Oh, where'd that? Okay, so we have 4. Can you see this? Yeah, we have the 4 the blue, 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom, right? So those need to be traced out where that is going. And there, wow. And that just joined up. So now we can follow the gray down. In this case, it kind of really doesn't matter with the gray and the yellow which way they traveled. We could have changed that up entirely. But at this point, they don't actually make another appearance. So there we have all the colors, whoops, all the colors reaching to the end. And that will, all we have to do now is snap this select tool onto our new middle line here. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and there. We can use the move tool. So yeah, this wasn't exactly, I expected that we were going to have to do some extra messing around. That's layer, anchor layer, to get this to work, but no, it turns out that fits itself perfectly in there. So yeah, this actually worked with my strings. I'll make this. Like I said, I'll probably end up doing it with some neon colors just to make it really bright and pop. But yeah, I really like that pattern. I like how it came out. Hopefully you guys had a good time. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something here. And yeah, I'll be back with videos as frequently as I can make them. So not everyone goes this smoothly, if you haven't noticed already. All right, thank you guys. As always, don't get your strings in a bunch.